Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the midweek Flagler weather update, and we'll be go ahead and starting with the big story of the day. Everyone's talking about Hurricane Erin, so we're going to talk about that. Well, it's not a hurricane yet. Let's be correct. Tropical Storm Erin. So we're going to talk about that and its potential effects and where it's going and all that. But this is satellite imagery from the National Hurricane Center via Tropical Tidbits. Tropical Tidbits is a good website to go to if you want to get some good tropical information. If you like to follow the models, that kind of thing, it's a good resource for that. I generally don't like to show the models because they change very frequently. But looking at satellite imagery, you can see as we get into it, it's you don't see a lot of thunderstorms around the center, but now it looks like thunderstorms are blowing up right around the center, and the center's kind of like right up in here. So it's got some wind shear, something going with it, but no, it looks like it's getting right in the middle actually. So, but it looks like that there's some thunderstorms are starting to blow up around the near and around the center of Erin, and that is a sign and a signal of strengthening. So it's very likely that you are going to see strengthening with this. The next advisory comes from the National Hurricane Center, which will be about 11 o'clock tonight. So, but it does look like maybe there's some bursts of thunderstorms going on there, and this is a strong signal of strengthening. So, it's moving off pretty quickly to the west and west-southwest, and we're going to take a closer look at it right now. So, key messages associated with Tropical Storm Erin as of 5 o'clock this evening. Oops, sorry, I left my other radio on. So the main concerns, of course, right now are for the Leeward Islands, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, as the tropical cyclone might get close enough to them. Looks like it's going to pass off to the north, but it's going to be really close, and we're going to explain that in just a little bit more. And as far as the rest of us are concerned right now, there's still considerable uncertainty on what effects may occur in portions of the Bahamas, East Coast of the United States, Bermuda next week. The risk of dangerous surf from rip currents along the western Atlantic basin next week is increasing. And just a reminder, no matter what the storm does, as we approach climatological peak of the hurricane season, it's an opportune time to ensure that your preparedness plan, supplies, all that stuff are in good shape and ready to rock and roll. So let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast cone. So right now, and just to point out, right now, this is max winds of 50 miles an hour, so the winds have edged up a little bit, moving west at 17 miles per hour. But again, so folks understand how big the storm actually is, you see this little orange right around here? That's how big this storm is. So it's really, as far as those gale force winds, it's not really that big of a storm right now. Now, National Hurricane Center has a forecast of moving to the west, west-southwest, and then as high pressure to the north begins to weaken a little bit, they expect it to start moving more on a west-northwest course, reaching hurricane strength maybe by Friday. And keep in mind that the center could be anywhere in this cone of uncertainty, so just don't focus on the dots. And then when you see M, it means it has the potential to be a major hurricane anywhere from just north of Puerto Rico to well away from it, and then perhaps approaching the easternmost Bahamas before starting to make more of a northwest turn. Now, beyond this cone of uncertainty, is really no way to know beyond the cone of uncertainty where this is going to go. So let's take a look at winds right now, and this is where the area of tropical storm force winds are expected. The red colors basically give you the highest chances of seeing sustained winds over 40 miles an hour, and of course the greener colors are those lesser chances. Right now you can see that we are well outside of any wind risk at this point in time. Now, this graphic is updated with each forecast advisory, so we'll have to watch to see if we start to get into any of these colors. This is like your 5% chance of tropical storm force winds and your 20% chances, and you start getting into the reds, that you're into your 80% chance. And so forth. So right now we are outside of the realm of that. So that's some good news for right now. But talking about the hurricane force winds, this is the area where there is risk of hurricane force winds, of course, well away from us, at least for right now. So talking about rip currents, one of the main concerns from this, and most likely concern for us, is going to be the rip currents. So right now we have moderate rip current risk up and down the east coast of Florida. And that is maybe upgraded as we get to this weekend, depending on what Erin actually does. So just keep that in mind as well. So that's where we stand right now with Erin. it is just something to watch, nothing to really worry about, but you can't take your eye off the ball in the tropics. So even though there's signals that this is not going to be an issue, does have to be watched until it finally does that turn. And so until we get there, do keep an eye on it. Stay up to date with the latest from the National Hurricane Center, because sometimes things can unexpectedly change. And I've been doing tropics in this area for 40 years, and I've seen lots of things that come at you as surprises. The forecasting now has gotten a lot better, so you don't see that as much. But that's where we stand with Aaron. One more look with the forecast cone here. Again, this is the expected track. It could be anywhere in this cone in the next 7 days. And, of course, it's not reaching us just yet, and it's not expected to at this point in time because we are outside of the 7-day cone. And general guidance is somewhere, a turn off to the north here. But, again, that can change. That's why it's important to stay informed what's going on. So let's talk about our local weather now. And aside from Aaron, so we do have high pressure that's kind of in control to the northwest. Notice this little dash line here. That's a disturbance. Another one. And this front's going to slowly pushing down as we get towards the end of the week, and another disturbance setting up over us. So that's going to kind of keep the afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms going. Now for tomorrow, there might not be as many because high pressure is going to be kind of over here, and that's going to help. There'll still be scattered showers and storms. There won't be as numerous. And again, this front, and this is actually the front that might protect us from Aaron from getting to the East Coast, because that will likely deflect that tropical cyclone. And taking a look at the forecast, let's take a look at the longer forecast now, days 1 to 7. Do they take that storm into account as we go through the next 7 days? Yes, it's at least for right now, the forecast path keeps it well out to sea from the Weather Prediction Center. As a matter of fact, it's not even on the map at this point in time. But remember, these forecasts can change. Stay informed. So let's talk about local weather now. What are we going to be expecting here? So heat advisories are in place, and they've just been updated. So we're going to have additional heat advisories tomorrow. This is the one for today, but this has been reissued for tomorrow. At least that's what it looks like right now. We just talked about the tropics, but again, the main reminder is that even though it might be blue skies here, the dangerous rip currents will be prevalent at the beaches as Aaron makes its pass offshore. So let's talk about the heat. That's one of our main issues we got going on. Heat indexes right now for tomorrow, we're looking at heat index numbers 112 through most of Palm Coast, 111 US 1 FEC corridor, and at the beaches 103, 105. These are heat index numbers. This is what it's going to feel like. But that's important because what the air feels like is what your body's going to react to. And so it gets a little hotter on Friday. Likely heat advisories going out again with numbers approaching 113 degrees in some parts of the county with those heat index numbers. Now we get to Saturday, still quite hot, 114 degrees in some inland locations. And as we get to Sunday, we begin to, if you will, cool off a little bit. Still quite potent heat index numbers there, about over 100 degrees. But we're starting to get a little bit of relief as we go into the first part of next week. Now, let's get into rain chances. Actually, let's get into actual temperatures before we do that. Let me pop over here. And so low temperatures pretty much consistent throughout the week. Lows generally in the mid-70s, near 80 at the beaches, mid-70s inland. And that's going to be consistent. We go all the way to the end of the week. Still looking at about that. High temperatures tomorrow, mid-90s. Again, the heat indexes will be higher, as we just talked about. As we get to Saturday, mid-90s. So pretty much not much change in our temperatures until we get to early next week, where we're starting now peaking only in the lower 90s and at the 80s at the beaches. So, and that looks to continue into early next week with highs in the 80s at the beaches, lower 90s inland as we go into next week. Let's look at rain chances right now. Let's get over to there and take a look at our rain chances as we go through the next several days here. Tonight, just a minimal chance of a shower or a thunderstorm, about a 30% chance. And then tomorrow, looking at about a 40% chance largely. So there will still be some storms around, but there won't be as many of them. There'll be a little bit more hit or miss. But where they do develop, one or two could be strong. And then that continues into Friday, kind of the same thing. A little bit higher chances Friday, especially the inland locations. Better chances of rain in the west part of the county. than at the beaches. So about a 50% chance out here in Mondex and about a 40% chance out here in Flagler Beach. Now, as we go into Saturday now, we're going to see those rain chances begin to amp up a little bit. 70% west side of the county, 60% beaches. So much better rain chances as we go towards the weekend. Of course, it's the weekend, but don't expect an all-day rain. It just means that the showers and thunderstorms will likely be more widespread. Sunday, even more so. 70 to 80% chances of showers and thunderstorms on Sunday. Again, mostly focusing in the afternoon. And beginning Sunday night, you can see those rain chances drop off quite a bit Sunday night. And then rain chances stay elevated into Monday, 60% chances, and then back down to about 50% chance on Tuesday. Now, going further on into the future, looking August 19th to the 23rd, look for temperatures to be averaging above normal. And for looking into even beyond then to the end of August, look for temperatures also be above normal. Precipitation also looking to be a little bit above normal. Just we're not expecting widespread above normal precipitation, and I forgot to check that too. So looking through August 23rd, about normal precipitation, but then as we get into the end of August, precipitation chances do increase. So, folks, that's going to wrap things up here, and let's take a look at our satellite before we finish, and you can see what's going on out there as we wrap up. So, showers and thunderstorms in some areas, some places staying dry. You can see them all blowing up there, and as we round out the evening. So, thank you for tuning in. If you just joined us, you can rewatch this or look for our YouTube link. We'll be posting that shortly. Everybody have a great evening. Remember, Aaron, just do keep an eye on it. Nothing to worry about just yet, but definitely keep an eye on it.